Hi everyone. Today I'll be discussing how to raise children. There are always pros and cons to how we should raise our children. Child rearing sounds like an adult thing, but since everyone used to be a child, the issue of child rearing is a common topic among all of us. So let's discuss it. Childhood is a good time in a person's life, and it is a good time from the viewpoint of children. When they are still small, they seem to be free of any responsibilities. What they do is send a signal by crying. Once they cry, their parents come and help them, and that continues until they start to go to school, or maybe even after that. Well, that is technically toddlerhood, not childhood per se, but responsibility-wise, things are basically the same throughout childhood. Since their school lives are the top priority, children or maybe even young adults leave most of the responsibilities to their parents so that they can focus on what they should be doing at school. When they choose between playing with their friends and helping their parents with housework, they're usually allowed to go out with their friends. And that is even more so when it comes to studying. Parents allow children to do most of the things if their children say, "Hey, I'm studying," you know. Come to think of it, at no time in an ordinary person's life are they allowed to concentrate on their studies, except for your childhood. So long as they study, they are considered good. When you're studying for the entrance exams, for example, you don't have to do any housework, or your parents even don't even allow you to do so. On the other hand, when you start working in the real world, you have virtually no time to study. Studying cannot be a good excuse not to get your job done by the deadline either. Well, how about the quality of your work? You are allowed or even encouraged to make mistakes when you're still young, right? Make more mistakes, right? Or don't be afraid of making mistakes, and nobody's counting your mistakes, right? The more errors, the more ambitious, the more positive, and the more diligent. It is the social norm to overlook your mistakes, saying, "Hey, this kid is still young." That may not always work for adults. If you, as a grown-up, keep making mistakes, your boss will regard you as irresponsible or unreliable. One or two big mistakes will not affect your bonus, but 3 strikes, you're out. Okay, but that's what it is like to be children from their own perspectives. How about adults? How adults think of raising children. Raising children is not a part-time job. It is a full-time job with lots of overtime, but without so much as a small salary. But parents are busy thinking of how best they can raise their children. And one thing they commonly do is send them to extracurricular lessons. Swimming, more than anything, is the most popular. The reason is apparent. Even 6-month-old babies can swim, so long as their parents assist them. I don't know if they can play the violin or football when they are 6 months old, but swimming is possible. That is why there are so many baby swimmers. Not only swimming, but lots of other lessons are offered. English, music, gymnastics, just to name a few. And don't forget, many children go to cram school, either to excel or to catch up. True, some children become successful. They may grow up to be on the national swimming team. They will grow up to be admitted to Harvard University. Or just like me, I was kind of successful in learning the abacus, a manual calculator that originated more than, I don't know, 400 years ago or even older. Now I can mentally calculate a problem like 43 times 57 equals 2,451 in a second. However drunk I feel, I can divide the entire bill into 3 so that 3 of us can split the bill. How's that? But here's a catch. Most of the children are not entirely successful, of course. I once tried to swim, but was not successful. Just because they send their children to a swimming school does not necessarily mean their children will make it to the national team. If that's the case, why pay all the money in vain? Instead, some people argue that children should help their parents do the housework after school, wiping the windows, doing the dishes, doing the laundry. All these things must be done when they have grown into adulthood and started to live by themselves. Isn't it more important for children to learn to do the household chores? As an adult, you begin to live independently, but don't even know how to do the laundry. You don't know how to make a quick breakfast. That will cost you a lot. Or maybe money doesn't matter. It's more like how others will think of you. Hey, this 25-year-old cannot even make a sunny side up. Your parents will regret it. Okay, so it's essential to teach children how to do the household chores. But how? They're so busy. Children are so busy with video games. Maybe adults are also busy, but children are so busy with video games at home that they cannot start the housework quickly. There should be some incentives necessary. After all, there's always a carrot and stick approach available. An easy carrot would be money. If children receive some financial rewards, they'll be willing to help their parents. Or knowing that they are given money, they will someday voluntarily collect the garbage on a garbage day or do the dishes as soon as they finish dinner. And this is called extrinsic motivation. In other words, their motivation is based on external rewards. Now, children help their parents. Okay, good thing. But is it a good child-rearing policy? You give money to children so that they can help their parents? Is it a good way of disciplining children? Maybe children will wait to study until they are given money, or they do not study as seriously if they know they will not receive rewards from their parents for their achievements. When I was a child, I don't remember any one occasion I received a reward. Under no circumstances, when I got a good score, when my team won the baseball game, or even on my birthday, could I receive anything. That was my parents' policy. The downside is, I don't know what it is like to receive a reward from my parents when I make an achievement. So as a parent, I don't see any causal relationship between my children getting good scores and me giving presents or money. I don't deny any money-giving customs rooted in many families. But one problem arises after another as to the relationship between children and money. And now that children have received money, do parents teach them how to manage money? This is especially important for us living in Japan because, like it or not, we have a money-giving custom on New Year's Day. Children are waiting for the money gift, and their small envelopes are thick. So what is your idea? Should children keep the money on their own so that they can use it when it's necessary? Or should it always be parents who keep the money? Well, maybe it is best to leave all of it to children. How's that? Children cannot learn anything until they do it on their own. It seems to me like a good start if they have small amounts of money to spend freely. They will be able to learn to be responsible for what they do, even without parents having to teach them repeatedly. And they will learn it the hard way. At first, they can find whatever they want at a shop and try to buy it because they have money. That is okay. Children do not make a huge purchase. Gradually, however, they will realize the speed at which they lose money. So the next time they want to buy something, they will maybe they will stop to reconsider the purchase. Is this really what I need now? My children do hesitate to spend their money on things they want. Well, I even encourage them to buy it if they really need it, but they keep saying, is this really what I want? I can't answer it though. That's your choice. Money is a limited resource for most people, so planning is essential. The sooner, the better approach applies here because the sooner they make a mistake, the smaller amount they lose. If children develop such an attitude toward using money, it'll make a difference in the future. Spending is too easy, but spending wisely is too hard. Saving is too easy, but that does not develop a good attitude toward money. How to manage money, therefore, is worth learning.